I'm so sad.
This is where the world is going.
Don't miss it.
Imagine you used to purchase food for, say, $5, but now you'll spend about $10 to get the same quantity of food. But to make matters worse, you will not be working, or you will be earning much less. All thanks to COVID-19 and its economic impact. According to the World Bank, this year alone, Africa is going to lose about $80 billion. Now that is a lot of money, and it's going to sting like a bee. I am Eddy Micah Jr., and you are welcome to the 77%, the program for Africa's youth. According to the World Bank, this year is not going to be good for the African continent. It is predicting that Africa is heading for its first recession in 25 years. So how bad are things really going to be? What does it even mean to be in recession? And can anything good come out of this? So let's dive straight into this, shall we? Let's go speak to the World Bank's chief economist for Africa, Dr. Albert Zeufack, to really get to understand all about this recession and what it really means for the continent. Dr. Zeufack, you're welcome to the 77%.
Good morning, Eddy, and it's a pleasure being on your program. Great opportunity to say hello to the 77% across Africa.
Let's try to break it down. What exactly does it mean to the young African when we talk about recession?
Consumption will decline because their income, what they take home, will be reduced. And on top of it, you will have inflation, rising prices affecting your purchasing power.
That doesn't sound good at all. Many are already feeling the economic impact of COVID-19 on the continent. Let's go talk to some of them so they share with us exactly what they're going through.
It's affecting me a lot. During that time, I used to pay my house rent, I pay my food because I'm a single mom. So I'm supposed to take care of my family, but now I'm not paying anything. I'm so sad.
Customers no longer come as they used to come. They come in few numbers. They no longer buy in bulks. Stocks are dead. See, economy has been gratefully affected. We can't manage to offer meals on our tables. It's very difficult for us.
There you heard it for yourselves. The impact is already being felt hard, but it seems it's even going to get tougher. But let's come back to you, Doctor. Many are worried because when it comes to remittances, many African countries depend a lot on that. They depend on what Africans living abroad send back to the continent. Now, last year alone, when it comes to remittances, Africans living abroad sent about $50 billion to the continent. Now, that's a lot of money, but clearly that's not going to be the same this year, all thanks to COVID-19, right?
We're projecting that remittances may decline by 20% in 2020. And that's due to large unemployment that is now taking place in countries that host the African diaspora.
Yeah.
So I'm very worried that this is going to be affecting the 77% across the continent even more.
Talking about unemployment, it's a fact. Unemployment levels are really rising all around the world. Currently, on the African continent, 60% of Africa's youth are unemployed. Now, according to the UNDP, due to the effect of COVID-19, 50% of the whole population of Africa will be unemployed. Dr. Zeufack, what does this mean? Because Africa's youth may be wondering right now, are their hands tied? Are they helpless against this predicted recession? What can Africa's youth do to help cushion the effect of the economic impact of COVID-19 pandemic?
It's important for the youth to really position in that food supply chain. Otherwise, we may be facing a looming food crisis in our largest cities. We all need to invest massively in the digital because it's the way of the future, and countries that would actually recover faster from this crisis are those that had already invested in a good digital infrastructure.
The continent should invest a lot more in its agriculture because before this lockdown, we still import a lot of food from outside the continent. Also, when it comes to digitalization, technology, that's the way of the world now during these lockdown periods where you can't actually go to work and you're working from home and all. So this is the time to boost the digital space on the continent. Good. We also went out to talk to some Africans to find out what else do they think can be done to help deal with the economic impact of COVID-19.
A lot of people are turning into online business to try and sell their goods, because this is where the world is going. Everybody is online. People, you want to order your food, do it online. You have a hotel industry. The hotel industry were closed. The restaurants were making money. Which restaurants? Those who had already invested on the online business.
As you can see, people are running out of food stock, and we all know that we need food to survive. So I encourage every youth to consider farming as their main investment.
We all know this is a global pandemic. It's affecting everybody, no matter the corner of the world you are in. So on the continent, Dr. Zeufack, how can we all come together to help deal with the economic impact?
If African countries do not cooperate to tackle this crisis, the shock on household welfare, on your consumption and income, will be twice as hard. Countries have closed borders to limit the contagion, but it's important to let the trade flowing.
A collaborative effort. Open the borders so the essential goods and services can still be functioning to help Africa stay afloat. I think it seems like Africa's youth and Africa's population overall are ready to fight.
I want you to know two things. One, this is not the end of the world, but it's very serious. So take your share of responsibility to help Africa fight this big disease. There is always an opportunity in a crisis. Don't miss it.
I really couldn't have said that better. Many thanks for your time, Dr. Zeufack, for all that information and insights. I'm sure myself and Africa's Youth 77% have learned a lot from this. Now, guys, it's time to wrap all of this up. What I want you to do is to go to the comment section and share with us your ideas on how Africa's youth can deal with the economic impact of COVID-19. Don't forget also to share this to your friends and loved ones. Let's spread the word. Nah? Okay. That's all time would allow us on this edition of the 77%. From me and the team, it's bye for now.